Royal Rumble 2023 is here, and we kick it off with the number one entrant. Becky Lynch is in first, and she's geared up for a big one, and she's waiting on who'll be number two.
The evil is mine.
It's Alexa Bliss, but she isn't really herself. She's just pacing around Becky Lynch. And then, when she gets in Becky's face, Becky wheels back and nails her with a right hand. But she doesn't even move. She just stands there. Then the lights start to flicker and Becky backs away. And the lights go off, but when they come back on, Alexa Bliss is spider walking towards Becky Lynch. She picks her up and she nails her with her sister Abigail. Becky is out, but the clock starts to count down. It's Natalya. She runs down, slides to the ring, but immediately she's met with her sister Abigail. Bliss picks her up, launches her over the top rope, and then just stares off into the distance again. Becky has rolled to the outside. She's terrified of what's happening. Bliss stares off continuously until the countdown starts again. And in at number 4 is Emma. Just like Natalya, she runs down, slides in, and is immediately dropped with her sister Abigail as well. Bliss launches her over the top rope and she's eliminated, and then Bliss locks on to Becky Lynch, who's at ringside. The lights flicker again, and then they go out completely. It's Uncle Howdy. He's here, and he just stands in the entranceway. Alexa is completely transfixed by him. But as she's distracted by him, Becky Lynch takes her chance. She eliminates Alexa Bliss, and Becky is ready for the fight, but it doesn't happen. Bliss doesn't even react. She just turns around and walks towards Uncle Howdy, and they leave together. Becky is incredibly confused, but she has no time to think about it because the countdown starts again, and it's entrant number 5, Dakota Kai. And they immediately brawl because they have plenty of history as well. Dakota makes an attempt to eliminate Becky Lynch, but she can't quite get her out of the match, and we get to the next entrant. And in at number 6 is Xia Li. And Lee comes in and cleans house. She drops both Kai and Lynch and then tries to get Dakota out of the match. But as all this is going on, we get the next entrant. It's Roxanne Perez, a cameo from the NXT champion and a massive opportunity for her. She hits the ring and goes right after the former world champion in Becky Lynch. And while Xia Li is attempting to eliminate Dakota Kai, Perez has Becky in a very compromising position. She's got her so close to being eliminated, and over the other side, Lee has Kai now in the same spot. It's so close, but it's time for the next one. And it's Io Sky. She rushes in to help her damage control teammate, and she goes right after Xia Li. She breaks up her attempt to eliminate Kai. She then runs over and drops Becky Lynch, and then she knocks out Perez as well. Kai and Sky then focus on working together, and together they eliminate Xia Li. Then they double team Roxanne Perez, and they get her out of there as well. Damage control is dishing out damage, and they are certainly in control. And Becky is back up. She realizes the danger she's in now. They start to walk towards her, but the clock begins to count down, and we find out who's next. It's the legendary Trish Stratus. She runs down, slides in the ring, and immediately sides with Becky Lynch. They both motion to Sky and Kai to bring it on, and the fight is certainly on. All 4 women start brawling all over the ring. Becky hits Kai with a suplex. Trish hits the Stratus faction on Sky, and after the altercation, Becky and Trish are back to back. They spin around, but Trish grabs Becky. She throws her over the top rope, but she hangs on. She quickly gets back in the ring and she says, "What the hell is that, Trish?" And Trish says, "It's every woman for themselves, Becky." And Becky says, "Okay, if that's the way it's gonna be, then that's the way it's gonna be." They start going at it now. Fists are flying, and the countdown starts again. And the next woman in is Tegan Nox. Dakota Kai hears the music and she's up now. Nox slides in the ring and they start fighting right away. We all know the history here. But as we know, there is a distinct outnumber. Sky joins the fight and Nox is in huge trouble now. They're both trying to eliminate her, but she keeps fighting with everything she has. All while Trish and Becky are on the other side trying to eliminate each other as well. Nox somehow manages to fight both of them off. Kai runs at her to try and boot her over the top rope, but Nox moves. Kai goes flying over herself. And then Nox is taunting her, but she forgot about Io. She grabs her, tries to fling her over the top rope, but she survives. Then Becky Lynch from behind Io Sky grabs her and throws her out. 2 out of the 3 damage control members are gone. And it's time for the next entrant. It's Sonya Deville. She hits the ring and she gets some damage in. She goes at Becky. She's able to land a combo on her. She goes at Trish. She lands one on her too. And of course, she lands a combo on Nox to complete the hat trick. She's fired up and we're ready for the next person. And it's Carmella that's next to hit the ring. She drops Deville with a kick. She then picks up all the pieces of the other down competitors and starts to try and eliminate Tegan Nox. And the clock is beginning the countdown again. And the next entrant in is Zelina Vega. She gets right into the thick of the action as well. She manages to hit Hurricane Ranas on Nox, Carmella and Trish. But she gets cut off by Becky, who drops her after her run. And it's time for the next person. It's Rhea Ripley. One of the favourites for the match is in, and she is not messing around. She gets in and literally cleans house. She eliminates Sonya. She runs over, eliminates Carmella. Zelina looks for a Hurricane Rana on Rhea, but she holds her up. She gets her in the powerbomb position and throws her to the outside and eliminates her as well. Ripley with 3 quick-fire eliminations leaves her in there with Lynch, Stratus and Nox. And all 3 of them are in sync. They realise exactly what they have to do. And they go after her and they beat her down. Or at least they try. Because Ripley manages to fight from underneath. She hits Nox with a riptide. She then hits Trish with a riptide. And it leaves her face to face with Becky Lynch. And the crowd lifts to its feet. They want to see it. And we get a taste of it. Because Becky and Rhea start trading as the clock ticks down again.
Pay attention, bitch!
Nikki Cross is here. She hasn't even entered the match. She's just walking around in the crowd. And then Rhea just yells at her to get in the ring. And the crowd loves it. But Nikki hates this. She snaps, she runs in the ring, and she goes right after Rhea. She gets her down and knocks the air out of her lungs. Becky and Nox are also going at it on the other side. Trish is down, and it's just starting to heat up. Bayley is next at number 16, and she is on a mission. She gets right into the thick of the action, and immediately she looks to avenge her friends and goes right for Tegan Nox. She nails her with a rose plant, picks her up, and tosses her out with minimal fuss. And she says, Dakota and Io will be waiting backstage for you, you little loser. And they are. When Nox gets backstage, she's taken out by Dakota and Io. It's chaos not only in the ring, but it's chaos out of it too. And it's time for the next entrant. And it's another NXT face. It's the imposing Alba Fire. She's geared up to announce herself to the world. And she gets in the ring and takes it right to the big names of the women's division. She drops Becky, she drops Rhea, she drops Bayley, and she drops Trish. And then we get a chaotic face-off. 2 completely unhinged women. Nikki and Alba start throwing hands at each other. It's absolute carnage. It gets so out of hand that Nikki throws herself at Alba and knocks them both out over the top rope. But they don't even break stride. They both get to their feet and just keep fighting. They don't even know that they've even been eliminated, and they brawl off out of the arena. It's complete carnage. But back in the ring, there's 4 women still standing, and it's 4 of the biggest names in the match. Bayley, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and the legend Trish Stratus. The crowd rise to their feet. They know this is a huge turning point in the match, and they are right, because all 4 women do battle, and we get a huge threat that enters the match next. It's Piper Niven, not Doudrop. She's back and badder than ever as Piper. Easily the biggest, most imposing member of the field. And Niven hits the ring and decimates everyone. She takes full control. She's able to take down Ripley and Bayley and then grabs both Trish and Becky Lynch and drops them both in the middle of the ring. It's insane power, and this is going to be incredibly hard to stop. It's Mickie James. She's on the final rodeo tour, and she has one final stop in WWE to make as well. It's a very special moment for her, but she's faced with a very difficult task because Piper Niven is waiting. She runs at her, but Piper catches her and just tosses her over her head. But Mickie James hasn't come this far by getting knocked down and not getting back up. She fights back. She battles Niven to the ropes. She's got her reeling. She's fighting to try and get the elimination, but she can't do it alone. But she doesn't have to. In what will be her final appearance in WWE, she's assisted by the woman she made her first appearance alongside. They both manage to get Niven out of the match. It's an incredibly emotional moment for them both. But it's cut short because Bayley eliminates Mickie and Rhea eliminates Trish, and the crowd boos them out of the building. But the boos soon turn to the crowd counting down because the next entrant is in. It's Candice LeRae, and she enters the Lion's Den and she takes it right to Bayley, who she has a deep history with. She's so close to eliminating Bayley, all while Ripley and Becky, who have been in the match the longest, duke it out on the other side. But again, it's time for the next entrant, and it's Raquel Rodriguez. She is really going to take some stopping as well. She hits the ring and dismantles everyone much like Piper Niven, knocking everyone off their feet and standing tall. This is only getting tougher and tougher. The competition is only just starting to heat up though. As the lights come on, it's Asuka, but not as we usually know her. This is a very dark, evil-looking Asuka. She saunters to the ring, and it almost stops the entire match dead in its tracks as everyone stares at her. But Rodriguez has had enough. She advances on her, but she gets dropped with one shot. Candice the same, and then Becky gets dropped as well. Bayley is not safe either, and Rhea gets dropped like the rest. Then Asuka picks up Bayley, a woman who has had a big hand in Asuka snapping, and she throws her out of the match. She turns to Rodriguez, she throws her out as well. Turns to Candice, and she throws her out too. It's unbelievable. She's just cleaned out most of the field. Becky and Rhea are up though. They know that they need to try and stop her. They both try and double team her. They try and get her out of the ring, but it's time for the next entrant. And it's Liv Morgan. Morgan has to throw caution to the wind. She runs right to the top rope and leaps off onto an already down Rhea Ripley. She runs at Becky Lynch and knocks her down too. Goes to the top, leaps off and nails her as well. She's on fire, but her fire is snuffed out by this uncompromising Asuka, who just knocks her down with a straight shot to the jaw. And next in is Lita. She enters at number 24 and she gets her moment to shine. She fronts up and takes it straight to Asuka. She manages to get her down into the corner and she's stomping away. Liv grabs her though and tries to eliminate her. She gets her to the apron, but she hangs on. Then, from behind Liv, it's Rhea Ripley, and she throws Liv to the apron as well. Now, Lita and Liv are precariously placed. Asuka dispatches Rhea Ripley to the other side of the ring, and Liv is trying to get at Lita, but she avoids. Lita tries to get at Liv, but she avoids. Becky Lynch comes from nowhere. She body checks Liv Morgan, and Liv goes flying off the apron, and she's eliminated. Becky tries to do the same thing with Lita, but Lita counters, and she manages to get back in the ring. And as the match goes on, the stakes are getting higher. Basler is in. She runs riot as well. She takes advantage of a tiring Becky Lynch and knocks her down with a flying knee. Same with Ripley. She wipes her out too. But then Lita from behind clubs her with a forearm. And it seems to just piss her off. She spins around and Lita throws another shot, but Shayna blocks. Then she smashes her in the jaw and then locks in the rear naked choke. Lita fades quickly. She's out cold. Basler lets her go. She knows she's unconscious. She flings her to the outside of the ring unceremoniously, and eliminates the legend. Then she turns around. She comes face to face with the new demonic Asuka, and they start trading shots as well. But Basler is able to drop her with a combo as well. We have our next entrant, and it's someone very familiar to Basler, a woman she's tormented. It's Shotzi, and Shotzi goes right after her. She's unrelenting. She wants revenge. She rains down a barrage of shots on Basler, and Basler has nothing to throw back. Shotzi is so fired up, she's incredibly hard to stop. But the momentum doesn't last long, because as fate would have it, a friend of Shayna is in next. This is not good for Shotzi. Ronda Rousey is here, and she hits the ring right away, and she starts working with Shayna. They both grab her, and they have her on the edge of being eliminated. It's the worst possible situation. Shotzi is clinging on with everything she has, when from behind, Asuka again. She breaks it up, and she lands a kick on Shayna. Then another on Ronda. And Shotzi, who is incredibly thankful, actually thanks her. But Asuka snaps on her as well. But then from behind Asuka, we see Becky Lynch. She grabs her and throws her to the outside. Asuka is eliminated, and she snaps. She makes a beeline for Becky Lynch. She runs back in the ring. She knocks her clean out, and she even hammers away on her unconscious body as well. Becky is out. She's done. But Asuka leaves the ring and walks to the back. Then Rhea Ripley very opportunistically grabs Becky and throws her out. Rhea gets the elimination. Becky was in from number 1, but eliminating Asuka is instead what got her eliminated. And now it's time for number 28. It's Mia Yim. She's going to need to steel herself because there are some real sharks in the water at this late stage. She hits the ring, and this is where we have a huge turning point, because Mia goes right after Ronda and Basler to help Shotzi. But Ronda and Shayna actually take control. Ronda has Shotzi in an armbar. Basler has Mia in the Kirifuda clutch. They have total control, and Rhea is loving it. She's enjoying herself. She doesn't have to do anything, and she can rest. Beth Phoenix is back for revenge, and she only has one person in her sights. Rhea Ripley looks like she's seen a ghost, but it's a very real threat, and they immediately come to blows. The crowd blows the roof off. Beth takes it right to Rhea in the corner. Meanwhile, over the other side, Shotzi breaks out. Mia breaks out, and they're taking the fight to both Ronda and Shayna. The crowd is on its feet. The place is rocking. It's fever pitch. We're getting so close to a winner, but we still need number 30. And it's Naomi who is number 30. The place comes even more unglued. She's returned after months of speculation. She sprints to the ring, and she gets 2 massive eliminations. She eliminates Shayna. She then eliminates Ronda. And she doesn't slow down there. She goes at everyone. She hits everybody with rear views. She gets her massive moment, and the crowd loves it. She's geeing everybody up. But Ripley gets up. She's been there the longest, but she's a beast. She cuts off the celebration and nails Naomi with a riptide. The crowd boos her once again. But that quickly turns to cheers because Beth is back up now, and they're duking it out once more. It's come apart at the seams, and Beth gets backed up against the ropes trying to defend herself from a barrage of punches from Ripley. But Mia Yim sees a chance. She wants to try and eliminate both. She runs at them, looks for a clothesline, but Rhea moves. She collects Beth, and she goes flying over the top rope. And with her back turned, Mia gets caught off guard as well, and Rhea then flings her over the top rope. Beth is devastated at ringside. Rhea gets away with one again, but Beth says, this isn't over. Nowhere near. But Rhea doesn't care though. She's just laughing at Beth Phoenix. She took her out and then got her eliminated as well. But the laughter stops when Shotzi comes up from behind. She throws Rhea over, but she hangs on. Then Beth grabs Rhea's leg. She's going to try and pull her off the apron and eliminate her, but Rhea shrugs her off. And then Rhea turns around, she grabs Shotzi, and she hip tosses her from inside the ring to the floor. It's unbelievable power. It's the highest of drama, and we are down to 2. Rhea Ripley, who's been in since number 14, versus the returning Naomi, who's been in since number 30. Rhea is exhausted. Naomi is much fresher, but it's time to settle this. Who is going to go to WrestleMania? It ultimately comes down to one moment. And it's when Naomi is in trouble. Rhea is stalking her. She wants the riptide. And if she can hit this, it's all over. But Naomi counters. She looks for a rear view next, but Rhea counters that. She catches her with a German suplex. And then she does not let the hips go. Rhea picks her up, spins her around, and belly to bellies her over the top rope with incredible power. Ripley does it all the way from number 14. She's going to WrestleMania. She reverses the result of 2021. And during the celebration, she looks down the barrel of the camera and says, "Bianca, it's time. We're doing this."